Hi, what's going on guys? Legendary Ocelot here, and today, I'm here for another video. This time, it is a buying guide for the PlayStation 3, as well as why it is the ultimate gaming console for the budget conscious. This video also marks the first video in a new series I'm making called PS3 at 3 AM, where I talk everything about PS3, like the system itself, games, and news about the platform. Anyways, let's get started. The biggest reason why I recommend buying a PlayStation 3 is because of the fact that it is dirt cheap to get into. If you're in a bad financial situation but you want cheap fun, or you're a kid saving up for your first gaming system with your allowance, then the PS3 is an older, although great purchase. If you shop around, you can find a great system, possibly even with games, for under $100 American. As well as this, although the system is over 15 years old as of this video, the system still has great games, like Minecraft, many different Call of Duties, Uncharted 1 through 3, and many more. The system also has many hidden gems, like my personal favorites, Disgaea 3, 4, and D2, but also Katamari Forever and Hatsune Miku Project DIVA F and F2nd. Another reason I recommend a PS3 is because, at least from my experience, it's so much more reliable than PS4. Although the fat systems aren't the most reliable, with their overheating and yellow lighted death issues, the slims and super slims are both figuratively and literally bulletproof. I have never had a single issue, software or hardware, with my super slim PS3, and I owned that specific PS3 for at least 4 years now. Compare that to my fat PS4, which had to be opened every 6 months for cleaning and repair to keep it from taking off Sony's airline division modern-day PlayStation and coincidentally exploding. Even my mom's slim PS4 isn't safe either, because it had to get its hard drive replaced within 2 years of owning it, and it also had numerous software glitches, like the ESPN app almost killing the operating system. So overall, I recommend buying a PS3 because they are cheap, have way too many great games, and if you get the right model, very reliable. People say there are 3 different generations of PS3, and they are technically right. The Fat, the Slim, and the Super Slim. However, the system really has 6 generations, being 3 generations of Fat PS3s, 2 generations of Slim PS3s, and 1 generation of Super Slim PS3s. The model of PS3 you should buy really depends on both your budget and your wants. I personally have 2 models, my main PS3 being the CECH 4001C 500GB Super Slim, and my second system being the CECH L01 Fat PS3. The first thing you should consider is if you want PS2 backwards compatibility or not. If you do want this feature, then you are going to look at any fat PS3 CECH A01 to CECH E01, though I recommend an A01 or an E01. These systems are worth by far the most, and are the most prone to problems, especially the yellow lighted death, but they can play PS2 and have the most features. Keep in mind though, that the A01 and B01 are fully compatible, because they have basically an entire PS2 shoved inside, but the C01 and the E01 are partially emulation based, meaning some games may have glitches or not work at all. The easiest way to tell if a system is backwards compatible with PS2 or not is to check how many USB ports there are. If there are 4, then congratulations, you have a PS2 compatible PS3. If it only has 2, then sorry, but if you want a backwards compatible system, then you'll have to find another one for who asked. If you don't care for backwards compatibility, then you can buy either a later fat model, or go for a slim or super slim. Also note that all PS3s, no matter the model, can play PS1 games, so there's that. The cheapest systems are the later fat models, like the CECH H01 and the CECH L01. But if you are fine with spending a little more, the Slims and Super Slims are quieter and less likely to break. In terms of prices, the backwards compatible PS3s cost anywhere from $200 USD all the way to $400 USD, which is definitely expensive. In terms of the later models, the later fat PS3s like my CECH L01 can be had easy for around $100, but I have seen it as low as $70. The Slims and Super Slims are slightly more expensive, but can be found all the time for around $120 or $130, although I bet you could still get one for under $100 if you look long enough. Another thing you have to consider are controllers. You really have two choices here, official controllers or aftermarket. Official controllers are going to be the best ones, but they are prone to failure, especially if the joysticks. Although this issue isn't quite as frequent as another system, which I'm not going to say the name of, but I'll say that the name of the system rhymes with Twitch. Decent used controllers can be had for around $20 or $25 each though. If you choose to buy one of those brand new official controllers, be careful, as a lot of them, especially on eBay, are fakes and you can get ripped off. If you choose to go for aftermarket controllers, just make a search on Amazon and check the reviews, as some of them are complete trash. The next thing to focus at is what video output you want. In America, there are 3 worthwhile options, being composite, component, and HDMI. I would not recommend composite unless that is all your TV has, because the resolution will be stuck at 480i, and the picture won't look very good. If your TV doesn't have HDMI, or the port died, I would recommend using component cables, as they allow up to 1080p, the maximum resolution of the PS3, and the picture is practically just as good as HDMI. If you don't know the difference between composite and component cables, composite cables have 3 ends, 1 for video and 2 for audio. Component cables have 5, however, sometimes 6 ends, with 3 for video and colors and 2 for audio. If possible, however, I would recommend HDMI, as it has quality just as good as component and is a 1-cable solution. One last noteworthy thing to consider are upgrades. First off, if your PS3 hasn't been cleaned out in a long time, I would recommend pulling a YouTube video up on how to disassemble your PS3, then get to work on cleaning it out, and replacing the thermal paste with a good quality one like Arctic Silver MX4. If you aren't confident on refurbishing your system, then get someone more experienced to do it. I refurbished my fat PS3 myself, and it runs a lot better now. Another thing you can upgrade is the hard drive. Any 2.5-inch SATA hard drive will work, and I would recommend a hard disk drive or a solid-state hyperdrive, as although an SSD does improve load times, the difference on PS3 is pretty small, nowhere near as big as on PS4 or PC, and I would personally skip it here. In terms of storage amount, even with a huge library, 500 gigabytes should be fine, but if you are that worried about storage, then get 1 terabyte. In terms of games, there are way too many good games on the system to count. However, I'm going to give you a good list of games to get with the system day 1, and I'm going to have all of these games to be cheap to buy, fun, and of varying genres. So here's my first time PS3 user game recommendation. First off, I'm going to recommend Uncharted. You can buy any of the 3 made for the PS3, but if you want to keep up with the story, then get the first one. It is a fun action-adventure game with lots of puzzles and a great story. I would not recommend this game for anyone under 13, as it is a semi-mature game, but definitely a game most people can enjoy. My second recommendation is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This is my Western RPG of this list, and although the PS3 version is known for frame rate issues, it is still really good on the platform. You can pour literally tens if not hundreds of hours on this game, and have fun the whole time, especially if you're into fantasy games. Another parental warning is this is an M-rated game, but overall another great pick for the system. My third pick is more of a niche game, but it is Disgaea 4: A Promise Unforgotten. This is my Japanese RPG of the list, but it is still a great hidden gem on the system. The story is super cheesy, like Vampire talking about the health benefits of sardines in the first 5 minutes of the game kinda cheesy. But this game is a tactical RPG, and you have to use your brain on this one, as there are definite strategy elements. Combined with a well-drawn anime art style, and you got yet another great game on the system. My fourth pick is Minecraft. It is still unbelievable that they got this game on a system this old and have it run as well as it does, but they did it. Worlds are admittedly pretty small, at 864 by 864 blocks in size. There is definite pop-in with the rendering. However, with the exception of updates past the aquatic update, the full game is here, and it's definitely worth at least trying. My fifth choice is Gran Turismo 5. The racing game of this list has several things going for it. First off, the simulation racing physics are simply addictive, and as well as this, the game has over 1,000 playable cars, and lots of content, and the cherry on top being great graphics, especially for the system. Overall, strongly recommended, and can be had for about $5. The sixth game on the list is Battlefield 3. This first-person shooter is about the best that can be had on PS3, as it has many maps and weapons, and although multiplayer lobbies are dwindling, are still there. Although Battlefield 4 is on PS3 as well, the PS3 version is severely limited compared to the PS4 version. So if your newest system is PS3, you're better off with 3. Overall, if you want a shooter for the venerable PS3, this is your best bet. The seventh game on the list is going to be a rhythm game, because I want something different on this list. My recommendation is Hatsune Miku Project DIVA F. I know this game isn't for everyone, but it has 38 playable Vocaloid songs in the main game, and 4 different difficulties, to suit people of different skill levels. The satisfaction of beating a song on a high difficulty is just plain addictive. One thing to note, however, is that the North American version of this game physically is on the expensive side. So if you want this game for cheaper, import a Japanese copy, as that version is a lot cheaper and all PS3s are region free. You can also buy the version on the PlayStation Store, but make sure you buy the PS3 version and not the PS Vita version. Overall, a great rhythm game. The eighth game on this list is going to be Persona 5. Yet another Japanese game on the list. Persona 5 also released on PlayStation 4, but there is a PS3 version too, and it works unexpectedly well for being a last-gen port of a game already released decently far into the PS4's life. The game is a JRPG that takes place in the modern era, and it follows a more traditional turn-based combat system. The story is very good and lasts over 100 hours on average on your first playthrough. Overall, another excellent pickup for the PS3. The ninth choice is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. This is going to be the arcadey street racer of my list, and it is my second favorite Need for Speed game, behind the original Most Wanted on PS2. In this game, you can play as either the racer or the cop, and participate in races, pursuits, and even one-on-ones with the racer and the cop. In the end, if you want an arcade-style racing game to play with your friends, this one is my personal recommendation. The final game of this list is going to be NHL 13. This is my sports game of the list, and other than the fact that it's hockey, it plays pretty well, and still looks great even now. And bonus, since it's technically an outdated sports game, you can get a hold on a copy for dirt cheap. As long as you don't care about having teams that aren't up to date, this is a great blend of price and fun to be had, especially for the PlayStation 3. This is my personal top 10 list of games to buy of varying genres, but my honorable mentions, as well as games I heard other people say are good, include The Last of Us, Call of Duty Black Ops, Hyperdimension Neptunia, Bioshock, Dark Souls, Ratchet and Clank, Fallout, and Red Dead Redemption. In conclusion, I think that for gamers who are either on a definite budget, like people who don't make a lot of money, or kids, as well as people who just want to get an older console, then the PS3 is an amazing pickup. Just because it's older doesn't mean it's empty of fun to be had. See you in the next one.